I'm seeing it like this.
Good morning, Facebook and YouTube. It's Merritt from Master of One Coaching. I'm here this morning with Melanie Cronin, who is the CEO of CronArt USA. And it looks like you're joining us on Instagram too, yes?
Yes, I think so.
Awesome. Fantastic. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So it does say still waiting. Is there any other button that you need to push, do you think?
It says send a request to be live. It says,
Yeah,
I think it's,
that request button.
I did, and it says requested, like past tense. I think it might,
She needs to
it's on your end, Merritt.
I think we cross requests.
Ah, okay.
This is never easy. I don't know why this is never easy for it. There we go.
Okay, great.
Fantastic. All right. Hi, Melanie.
Hi. Turn that volume down.
There we go.
Okay.
Woo! Hopefully that should look okay. No? There we go.
Okay.
All right. You guys, someday I will get this all together, but it's only been 2 minutes today, so we're going good. Okay.
All right.
So once again, and on the replay, we will edit all that out, and we'll give you a clean link to go back and look at in a little while. But anyway, I'm Merritt Minnemeyer. I'm here with Melanie Cronin, who's the CEO of CronArt USA, and I am the founder of Master of One Coaching. And Melanie, I'm so glad you're joining with us today. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And so I would love everyone to know your story and the story of CronArt USA.
Again, my name is Melanie Cronin. I own a business with my husband, Ryan Cronin, and he's an artist. We've been in this area. I've been in this area actually all of my life. We've been here together for almost 30 years. We own a gallery and shop in Water Street Market, where we feature his work, very specifically his work. Our running joke is it's all Ryan all the time.
And I want to clarify for those of the people who aren't here in the area, we're in New Paltz, New York, which is in the Hudson Valley. So Melanie and I met through local channels, but they sell art all over the world.
Yes, thank you. Thanks. I forgot. This is good, Merritt, because I keep thinking about expanding beyond the Hudson Valley. So we have a shop, which we consider our headquarters. We show Ryan's work there. We have a line of merchandise ranging from keychains to prints, blankets, T-shirts, etc. The whole concept behind Ryan's work is accessibility. And so that is kind of one of the cornerstones of our business. But we use the space as a headquarters where we then do bring his art out into the world. So we show in Asbury Park, New Jersey. We have a show, if everything is okay with the pandemic, this September in Telluride, Colorado. He has work in Mallorca, Spain. He was at a residency in West Africa last year through the Joseph and Annie Albers Foundation. So our home base of New Paltz, New York is really where we make it all happen.
Yeah, awesome. And would you mind sharing the story about how Ryan came into the world? I love that story.
Oh, I'm glad you love it. It's always good to remind him of that because I think he's almost slightly embarrassed. But he was born on the front seat of the car on the way to the hospital. And, our running joke is from the moment he came out, he's been keeping everyone on their toes. And his dad was driving, mom's in labor. His dad gets behind the milkman and was really frantic because the guy was going slow and he ended up missing the turn and out came Ryan and he was the boy in the bubble, for the first couple of weeks or first week about. And anyway, so he made a grand entrance and he's been keeping that flow ever since.
Yeah. And if you don't mind telling us a little bit more about you and how you both kind of birthed this idea together of this business.
Love. So Ryan and I met in college, just randomly one evening, maybe late evening. honestly, I just pretty much fell in love with him instantly. I was just writing about this because we're actually doing a timeline right now, which has been really helpful because suddenly 30 years, you're like, what happened? And we have a team, so it's a really nice way to share with our team what has happened. But the night I met him, I went back to his dorm room and I saw his photographs because he originally was a photographer, or has a background in photography. And I was amazed by the way he saw the world. And that was kind of it. And I was a young mom. I had my daughter very young. And so she basically was in college with me. He was a wild maniac. I was a grounded mom. And we both saw beautiful things in each other. And we always say, we actually just had this conversation during the pandemic. Me being a young mom, I learned how to be an entrepreneur because I learned one of the most important things, consistency. If you get up every day and do it from your heart, you're going to get there. You have to be creative. You have to be fluid,
flexible, right?
And flexible. And I had to do that to survive.
Yeah.
And he, in his upbringing, I think constantly being in trouble and just being a wild maniac, he learned, he was a risk taker. So when you put all of that together, we were the perfect blend. And when we, again, on a timeline moment from yesterday, when we, after we got married, I wanted to stay home with our children. And so he learned to swing a hammer, which was something we didn't talk about for a long time in terms of his art, but it's actually a huge asset that's helped us as we've grown as a business, because we've taken some risks that involved opening new spaces and, having a guy who can like tear down a wall and rebuild it has been very handy. And also, it is incorporated into his work. But I think when he said, okay, I'll go out and do this and you can stay home with our family, I felt a little guilty because I know that being an artist is at the core of who he is. And I didn't want him to give that up. So I really stepped up and started to get him shows and into museums. And we went to art fairs. And it was my way of saying, like, I still value and keep that sacred in you and want to support that because you're valuing us and keeping us, me home with the kids. So
that's really beautiful. I actually hadn't heard that part of the story before. So thank you for sharing that. What an amazing partnership that you've developed over the years, and so much honor and respect for each other. And I know that we've talked about, you're together 30 years, you're going to drive each other crazy sometimes. And, we can make jokes about that and but you go with it. But that at the core of your partnership is such love and honor and respect and mutual understanding for what your values are. And that makes me a little bit clamps. That's very That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, you and Ryan both do a lot of amazing work through your art and as an extension of the community build through art. So can you tell us a little bit more about the social impact of your art and what you're passionate about and how you drive that?
Yeah. So for years I'm home with the children. During that time I do some different things that are out in the community. I have a background and a degree in social work. So I keep, no matter what I'm doing in my life, I keep going to this place of wanting to have community and give back and to bring together. So when we started the gallery, it was 2015. And the funny moment about that is about a year and a half or two prior, our son said to us, because remember, we're doing all these art shows and fairs and museums. And he said to us, is this a hobby or a career?
I love love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. I wasn't happy, but it was
Lady
amazing.
Buddhas, right? They just out of the mouths.
Yeah, totally. So we end up opening up the gallery space, and it was very much on a whim, sort of like, listen, we have this momentum. Let's just see what happens. We have an amazing community behind us, because at that point,
I want to say too that we have some people joining us now who are sending waves and hearts. So Gage Gullickson is saying hello.
Oh, hello, Gage.
And sending hearts, and Jonathan from JRH Graphics, thank you for joining us, and a few others. So thanks for coming on. Go ahead. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah. Oh, all good. So when we opened the gallery in 2015, it was super exciting, totally terrifying. And we've decided, so once we kind of got into our groove, in 2017, we decided to start a charitable fund, and it's called 12 Months of Giving. And the idea behind it is it's so easy to give in November and December when everybody's saying, it's end of the year giving, and, Giving Tuesday. And we were like, we want to be a business that supports people throughout the year. We want to be their champion. And it really translates in many different ways. It's sometimes Ryan creates a piece of art that supports something that they're doing. Sometimes it's about holding an event. We've done things like a cornhole tournament or a fundraiser. Ryan's painted murals where we did a 24-hour paint-a-thon kind of thing. But the basic idea is that we partner with organizations that we see are agents of change. And so we've worked with GoDocGo, and she goes into Senegal, Ethiopia, and Haiti, and she sets up women's healthcare clinics to screen and treat for cervical cancer. Incredible organization. It looks like a massive organization, and it's a small crew of people that really just dedicate themselves to this mission of ending cervical cancer. And we've worked with TMI Project, which is an amazing initiative in the Hudson Valley. It's a memoir writing workshop that culminates in a storytelling performance. It has incredible impact for the audience as well as the storyteller. That has been an amazing experience. And we've worked with Woodstock Farm Sanctuary, and the list is growing longer and longer. And we've worked with everyone in a sort of a different capacity. But again, the idea is to really stick with an organization over a period of time as best we can to do that. So we're now looking at, we've been with GoDocGo since 2015, and they've been our primary organization. Ryan's actually done a really cool public art installation with them called The Box. It's a portable privacy booth that individuals can step into and self-swab for HPV virus. It's actually a physical, almost like think about a telephone booth, but private. That can be put onto location. So we've brought that all over the Hudson Valley and into Brooklyn. And that was really amazing for us. You, as an artist, two things happen. One is the doctor and the artist were looking at one another as equals, which was really amazing, I think. And I've been participating in this roundtable lately, over the past couple of weeks, talking about the artist's role in the community and business, and how we can hone in on language to get businesses to see the value of the artist, and to be contemporaries, to get artists paid. So people don't have to be a starving artist, but a working, living artist.
Yep.
This project really was an example where the two were contemporaries and really were supported one another as equals. And so that was really beautiful. And the other thing which really struck us, when the test results came back, there were women who were positive, which means they could have had cervical cancer, but we helped them get early treatment, which early detection is the best way to basically keep yourself safe. So it was like, oh, this isn't a public art project. Oh my God, it's like saving people's lives. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's and what a beautiful like collaboration that would not necessarily seem natural to people who are looking at the art world, right? They're like, I mean, that is not something that people tend to come up with on their own, or think they're this great, you know, this wonderful artist who sells all over the world and who has his own gallery, and, you know, and the high powered businesswoman who is running the business, and, you know, like, oh, by the way, they're like saving lives through art and through collaboration and relationship. Yeah. It's incredible. It really is.
Talking to us too. Like, wow, we didn't even like see what this impact could be, which is really cool too, right? As you engage in all these projects, you assume there is one impact, and then suddenly it's like, obviously it wouldn't have been not that hard to figure out, but when you're in it, it's so hard to see it, you know?
Yeah. So. Melanie, do you happen to have any headphones around?
No, am I having a lot of echo?
I'm hearing I'm getting some messages that there might be some echo.
I do have a child with wireless headphones. Hold on one second.
Okay. So I'll vamp while Melanie's getting headphones. Thank you for letting us know that out there. I appreciate it. I also wanted to let you know that Melanie and Ryan do this program called Expect a Bike, and where they have created this campaign all around the Hudson Valley area. And Ryan has designed this beautiful sign that goes along the sides of roads, and it just lets people know there might be a bike coming that way, right? So you'll see them kind of everywhere around the Hudson Valley now, which is really cool. And it's just another way that they are promoting collaboration and community in the Hudson Valley and beyond. For those of you who are letting us know about the echo, is it just me? Is it me too, or was it just Melanie? You can let me know that in the comments. I'd appreciate it. So Melanie, I was just talking to our audience about Expect a Bike too, and letting them know about that program and how we're seeing signs all over the Hudson Valley with Expect a Bike. And how did that come about?
Could I hold on for 1 minute and have like a technology moment? This is this is big stuff for me right here.
Yeah.
Using these AirPods, I don't know what I'm doing. Is it work? Wow. Technology's cool. Can you hear me?
I can. Okay.
Both getting echo, but it may be because a mic is picking up audio. I wonder if my phone is. I'm going to try and.
Okay, and I'm hearing that.
So how's that? You better?
I think it's better. Some people are saying it's fine. Some people are saying it's me. Some people are saying it's you. So hopefully it'll get better.
Okay. So the Expect a Bike. There was an unfortunate event where a young woman in our community in New Paltz was struck by a car while riding her bike, and she happened to be a waitress in Water Street Market, which is where our gallery is. And so we knew her, and it was obviously extremely devastating. It was a hit and run to add to the salt to the wound. And for a long time, months, there was a question about whether or not she was even going to survive. So New Paltz is amazing. We all live here for a reason. And community came together, and someone approached us and said, why don't we hold an event here for her at Water Street and raise some funds that we can donate towards her recovery, and begin to engage people in a dialogue about between motorists and cyclists, because it has to be a dialogue, because, you know, communication is important.
Yeah.
So let's really encourage that communication. So we held an event. Ryan painted a painting, Expect a Bike, ahead. We had this great day. People came in, a lot of volunteers. We raised money. We sold the painting the day of, which was amazing. So we were able to donate money from the painting sale to her recovery. And it was just a really beautiful outpouring of community. Thankfully, she did survive, and she's been working really hard on her recovery. And she's this incredible woman, as is she has a great family. And we ended up having a relationship with her dad. basically a year or two later, her dad had this idea about doing these lawn signs, and he started working. He said, "Do you mind if I use the image?" And we were like, "Of course not, go for it." So O'Connor and Partners, a law firm in our community, ended up underwriting the lawn signs. And so we basically gave away 100 lawn signs within 2 days, all for free. And then that was incredible. It was amazing. And then out of nowhere, I get a phone call from someone that I don't know that said, "I wrote a grant for you to the Governor's Traffic and Safety Commission, and we got it. Would you be willing to do this again?" And I said, "Well, of course." So we are in our 3rd year of receiving that grant, thanks to this amazing woman that I finally just met after 3 years this past spring, in face-to-face. And so, yeah, so now we've taken this idea because we believe there's a capacity for a nationwide impact. The funny thing about the sign is people either love it or hate it. And Ryan and I always laugh because he's always like, people either are like, "What is that awful piece of art?" or like, "I love it and I get it and I want it near me." So we've had people being like, "That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's like visually offensive." And he's just like, "That's great. People are talking about it. And you know what? Now they're going to think about a bike." So it works. So we're taking this concept and we've put together a deck and that we're sending around to different bike organizations. I welcome anyone who wants to be part of this to contact us. But the idea behind the initiative will be that we offer an organization or a municipality the use of the images. So we'll wholesale them the lawn signs, T-shirts, hats, and stickers. They can use the T-shirts, hats, and stickers to fundraise for their initiatives in their community. And then we're encouraging them as a piece of community involvement. In order to actually get the signs, they have to find a partner that will underwrite the cost of the signs, so that all of the signs can continue to be given away for free. It's about accessibility, right? We don't want anyone to have to pay like for that piece of it. And it's about engaging people in community dialogue. So it's sort of like, if you want to do this, this is yours, but these are the components to be part of it.
Yeah. Awesome. What an amazing story too. I mean, it's full of these amazing stories of people coming out of the ether to help and to support and to collaborate. It's amazing. Well, it's a testament to you and all the energy that you put out, all the love you put out, truly. I mean, that's not just, doesn't just happen randomly. I mean, that happens because you're doing the work, right? Yeah. All right. Well, there's so much more we could talk about because you have so many amazing projects, and it's one of the many reasons I love you and love to work with you.
Thanks. Right back at you.
Thanks. So it seems that we have resolved the sound problem for the most part, and I will continue to get better at this, y'all. So thank you for bearing with me. So what is one golden nugget of wisdom you'd like to drop for our audience today? One, if you could share one thing and have them take it away, what would it be?
I think it's not one thing. It's maybe 3 things. It's consistency, commitment, and flexibility. And something, this is the biggest thing that I'm always working through, and I've learned from you. Trust yourself. As an entrepreneur, it's very easy for me to think that other people know the answers. And I've learned to, I'm an information gatherer, so I ask everyone's opinion. This is how I function. I gather everyone's opinion and then I distill it to what feels right for us.
Yeah.
So
that's a huge lesson to learn, and it's so powerful and it's so hard sometimes. I think that, and I don't want to overstate this and be too generic about it, but I will say in my experience as a woman, that seems to be harder for women than it does for men sometimes. And I don't want to overgeneralize. I know that's not totally true across the board, but I think because we are we are conditioned to be people pleasers, right? And to be caretakers. There is sort of an expectation of we'll give of ourselves to other people, and we'll support other people, and we'll try to make other people happy. And through that building of those muscles, we sometimes lose the connection to what is good for us. Yeah. So to relearn that is tricky. And again, I don't want you to overgeneralize. I know it happens for men too, and for people of all places on the genders and sexuality spectrum. I don't mean black or white, but as a overall rule, I find at least in our generation and older, I find it might be. I think it's changing for younger people, but
I have a funny
expectations.
Yeah. A funny response to that is, and Ryan and I just had this conversation last night. I was like, I can't believe blah blah blah, and he was like, I can. I knew it, and I'm like, I know you did. But like that's kind of it in a nutshell. Like I'm just like, like this, like like wow, or like we're renovating our space right now, which is a really big deal. 5.5 years into it, we're finally tearing down walls and redoing the floors, and it's a big emotional shift for us in many ways. It's a commitment to be there longer and claiming the space that it's actually ours, and that we're intentional in being there. And it was in relation to that, because we're redesigning the space, and that, neither of us have a background in design, but we sat in there for hours and hours and hours, and I think we nailed it. And I was like, I can't believe we did that. And he was like, yeah, of course we did.
I love that. That's awesome. All right. So how do people get a hold of you and see all the beautiful work that you all are doing together and check out Ryan's art?
So we have a website. It's CronArtUSA.com. You can also put in artist Ryan Cronin, and you should be able to get there as well. Otherwise, fire me. But it's spelled CronArtUSA.com. We are on Instagram as CronArt USA, which represents him as an artist. And then we have another new Instagram that we just launched in response to the pandemic called Shop CronArt. And there we feature a lot of his merch, really focusing in and dialing in on that. And we're on LinkedIn. And what else is there? And Facebook. So we're on all of it except TikTok and Snapchat, but I'm working my way there.
And now Clubhouse, right? Clubhouse is a new thing. Have you?
I don't know. Just don't tell me.
It's so much, right? That's where I'm headed next, is Clubhouse.
Okay, good to know.
Maybe you can come on with me there.
All right.
Okay, great. And so they can get through the website. You can get through all the social channels. There's also a shop, right? You can buy art online. You can buy merch online.
Yes. Yep.
I should have worn my T-shirt today. You gave me this beautiful T-shirt for Christmas, and all my kids got CronArt T-shirts for Christmas this year.
Thank you.
And I have the bunny sticker on my computer. Anything else that you'd like to share with our audience? Anything special going on?
Reopening of our space. I would invite everyone to come in and check it out. Again, we're in Water Street Market in New Paltz. For anyone who isn't physically in the Hudson Valley, one of our goals is to make sure that whether you're online or in the physical space, you can experience it. So we'll be sharing that as we move through what the physical space is. But yeah, just welcome everyone to come in and check us out. And if you have ideas for projects, reach out to us. We're always open.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I will attest to that too. Melanie's always got something new cooking with some new collaborator. I remember there was last year, the woman who saw the bunny sticker on the car and called you and did a fundraiser, right? And
that was insane. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So always new things happening, and you guys give so much of your heart and soul and your gifts to the community and to the world. And it's just such a privilege to know you and to work with you. So thank you for being here today.
Thanks. Thank you. Same to you.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Melanie. If you hang on just a second, after we sign off, I'd like to just check in. But thanks, Facebook. Thanks, Instagram. Thanks, YouTube. Thank you for bearing with us and our technical stuff. As always, I'm a coach. I'm not a producer. So, but we'll work.
And you're a great coach. A great
Thank you.
coach.
Oh, thank you. That's very sweet. So I'm going to sign off. Have a great Friday, you guys. And we'll have the replay up on Facebook. I'll put it up on IGTV too in about a week. Thanks, Tom. Tom Duggan says thanks. And thank you for all for being here today. Yeah, so the replay, the edited replay will be up on YouTube in about a week, and we'll share it there too. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
And now, and